Hey everybody, what's happening? Son of a silver stacker here. In today's numismatic news and information for the 12th day of April 2021, I'd like to take you over here to Kitco and look at the spot prices. Gold is down $2.10 to $17.42. Silver's down 9 cents to $25.17. Platinum's down $16 to $11.79. And palladium is down $15 to $25.35. We're going to stay here on the Kitco website. There's a story by Anna Golubova. It says here, central banks on gold buying spree again? Hungary triples gold reserves. Alrighty. This is on April 8th. It's not old news, but it kind of follows the news that we've been following, that the United States state governments are buying gold reserves. They're trying to open the door for unions and pension funds to be able to buy gold reserves, as well as central banks that now are stacking up and stocking up gold and silver. I mean, this is incredible. They must know something. So it says here, after a pause in central bank gold buying last year, there are signs of new activity in the space as Hungary has tripled its gold reserves. Hungary's central bank raised its gold reserves to almost 95 metric tons from almost 32 metric tons, citing long-term national and economic policy strategy objectives. This marked one of the most significant central bank gold purchases in decades. The official announcement was made in a press release on Wednesday. So they've added that much, but they didn't tell anybody, right? So is that sneaky? Is it prudent? Is it wise? Do you tell anybody, hey, I'm going to buy, 60 metric tons of gold here? No, you probably don't. You just... maybe you buy it up quietly, like Walt Disney bought up all that land in Florida, right? Well, through all these other shell companies. Who knows what they did, but they didn't announce it till just Wednesday. So obviously you want to do the hush-hush thing. The central bank continued the process it started by increasing gold reserves by a factor of 10 in 2018. As a result, based on the size of gold reserves, Hungary moved up from the middle of the international list to the top third by March 2021, the press release said. The decision to triple its gold reserves was also based on the need to manage new risks arising from the COVID-19 pandemic, the central bank said. The appearance of global spikes in government debts or inflation concerns further increased the importance of gold in national strategy as a safe haven asset and as a store of value. As a result of this decision, the press release said, yeah, that's smart. It's a safe haven asset and a store of value. The central bank referred to gold as one of the most crucial reserve assets worldwide, stating that it carries no credit or counterparty risks. Hungary's latest addition was the biggest monthly purchase since June 2019, when Poland bought almost 95 tons, according to the World Council. We did a story about that one. I know that. The purchase comes just as the WGC released a report saying that global central banks were net buyers of gold in February. Purchases were led by India, which acquired 11.2 tons of gold. Robust central bank gold buying over the last decade has helped to keep gold prices elevated. But the record buying spree was paused in 2020 as gold rallied to new record highs and the coronavirus pandemic has shut down economies around the world. In the third quarter of 2020, central banks became the net sellers, and some countries chose to sell some of their gold reserves. January and February of 2021 also saw the weakest start of the year in over a decade, with global central bank net sales totaling 16.7 tons, the WGC said. So that's interesting. They became net sellers as some countries choose to sell there. And then in January and February also saw the weakest start in over a decade. Now that's interesting because this January and February saw some shortages, maybe not of gold, but definitely silver. But we've also seen that there was record sales of gold eagles and gold purchases. So this is kind of, I don't know, it just seems interesting. Let me read that again. January and February of 2021 also saw the weakest start into the year in over a decade, with global central bank net sales totaling 16.7 tons, the WGC said this week. However, this trend seems to be turning around quickly. Yeah, that's what I thought. In March, the Polish central bank said it would be looking to buying at least 100 tons of gold in the future, while Serbia continued to make steady acquisitions since 2019. Our expectation remains that central banks will be net purchasers in 2021, but the immediate outlook for central bank demand remains finely balanced. WGC senior analyst Krishan Gopal said on Wednesday. So there's that. I mean, that's more writing on the wall as far as I'm concerned. More central banks are hoarding gold. It's the real money. It's the money that you know who put here, the big guy. It's his money, and we should use it wisely, definitely. But we should also probably be accumulating it because all these other people are, right? Look at this. There's another story here out of Singapore. Singapore dealer prepares vault for 15,000 tons of silver. That's a lot of silver. That is a lot. Now, this is by Ranjitha Pakyam and Yvonne Yu Lee, April 11, 2021, updated today at 3:07 a.m. Eastern Time. Now, warehouses from U.S. to Asia are being set up to meet demand. Analysts see silver outperforming gold on retail and solar buying. That's incredible. Look at that warehouse. It's like a Costco or a BJ's. Imagine going to a Costco or BJ's and all it was different sizes and ounces and pounds and kilos of silver. Yes, thank you. Oh, man. It says here inside a 6-story high warehouse near Singapore's, I want to say Changi Airport, a vast hangar-like space is waiting to be filled with precious metal that usually plays second fiddle to its more lustrous sibling, gold. The vault that's being built by Silver Bullion Pte. Limited will, when completed in the first half of next year, be able to store 15,000 tons of silver. It's only holding around 400 tons of the metal at the moment, but the vacant space is an indication that silver appears to be on the cusp of a few promising years. Oh boy, that's another heads up. Demand for coins and bars is booming, fueled in part by Reddit-induced buying frenzy in February that drove prices to an 8-year high. While the fervor has abated, possibly, retail interest is still elevated. Valuations are relatively cheap, and measures are being taken to meet the surge in demand. The amount of silver stored in vaults in London rose 11% in March to a record, according to the London Bullion Market Association. As well as the Singapore vault, JM Bullion, one of the biggest precious metal retailers in the U.S., plans to open a 25,000 square foot warehouse in Dallas in June that will be used for storing silver and other precious metals. The metal's crucial role in energy is in the energy transition. It's a key component in solar panels. It also looks to buoy consumption over the longer term. All this has some analysts forecasting that silver will outperform gold this year. And to be honest, it's already outperforming gold here already. So the outlook for demand growth for silver over the next few years looks very positive, especially across a wide range of industrial applications, including solar, 5G, and automotive, said Philip Clapwick, managing director of Hong Kong-based consultant Precious Metals Insights Limited. That, coupled with ongoing high levels of investment, is likely to create the need for more dedicated storage space for silver and bullion, and also intermediate forms. I tell you what, if somebody was a smart entrepreneur, they would probably start a precious metal vault to hold people's, precious metals, right? It's easy. So, I mean, it just gets more interesting, folks. These folks are not dumb. These are the insiders. They know what they're doing, and they are, I mean, look at this. This is silver and black. This is gold in red. Who's outperforming one? Who's outperforming the other? Look at this. I wanted to read this too. Still, there's no shortage of silver. The Silver Institute expects the global market to remain in a surplus this year, although it sees the lowest excess since 2015. And even against a backdrop of strong electronics and automotive demand as well as growing solar power investment, silver's failure to break higher suggests the gold price, real yields, and the U.S. dollar remain powerful drags on the metal, Morgan Stanley said in a note. Now, I'm not sure if it was these guys or J.P. Morgan, but honestly, I mean, it's just, you can't trust anybody, really, not even me, when it comes to their opinion on the metal. You always have to do your due diligence and your own homework. You have to understand how to read these charts and whatnot. And if you can, more power to you. Listen, this is a great article, folks. I'm going to leave a link in the description. I'm going to run out of time, and I'm going to talk your ear off, and I don't want to do that. But here it is, more writing on the wall, folks. Look at this, 15,000 tons, and they're only holding 400 now. Yeah, what do they want? I mean, and this is just basically a a dealer. This is a dealer. This isn't somebody who's like a central bank, who's going to sit there and hold it forever. So they expect to be moving tons and tons of silver around constantly, I would imagine. That would be quite the feat. That would be quite amazing. Listen, folks, thanks for watching. Thanks for dropping by today. Don't forget to hit that like button. And if you do like what you hear and see, subscribe to the channel. It's free. Son of a Silver Stacker, out.